Welcome to a new project on my channel. Today I want to start playing through the original Devil May Cry, the old PS2 title, slightly upgraded in the HD collection which I recently bought on Steam. Thank you game, I just wanted to do my intro here, but whatever. So yeah, Devil May Cry 1, something that holds a special place in my heart, partially because this is one of the games I experienced very early on when it came out with my dad. Basically, I was too young to play it myself. Also, the whole horror vibe of it wasn't really something that had me chomping at my bits to get into myself. But my dad bought it for himself and he played it. I was just there, sitting next to him on the couch and, yeah, experiencing the game vicariously through that, and good times. So why am I playing through it now? And let me be clear about this. This is not my first playthrough, not even as of recent. I mean, recently I did my first playthrough, but I encountered a bit of setback when it came to hard mode. So I wanted to play through it again, get a better setup and do stuff a bit differently. But the main reason I got into this whole thing now, and why I also want to make videos about it, the sad fact of the matter is that recently my dad passed away a few months ago, and I don't know, I'm just feeling the nostalgia really hard. My dad also bought himself Devil May Cry 3 back in the day, and I remember also having the same deal with him as with Devil May Cry 1. I don't know if he did the second game, it's widely considered a bad entry. Haven't tried it myself either, but the thing is, for some reason, I don't hold this one in quite as high of a regard as one, and having started playing through this, it's a tough one. First one, different story, and I think it's time we get into it. So the screen is going to turn black in a moment. Because basically the way this works is that the screens that you just saw from the HD collection, that's a different executable from the game itself. The games are pretty much separate from that thing, and I think I could launch them individually, directly if I wanted to. Doesn't matter much. Apart from the fact that this allowed me to get the third game into compatibility mode to get rid of some artifacts with subtitles and that kind of stuff. Thanks for the immediate screensaver thing, that's really helpful here. Anyways, new game, let's go. 3 minutes in.
2 millenniums ago, there was a war between the human world and the other, the underworld. But somebody from the underworld woke up to justice and stood up against this legion alone. His name was Sparta. Later, he quietly reigned the human world and continued to preserve harmony until his death. He became a legend, the legendary Dark Knight, Sparta.
Just materializing out of the moon. Nothing out of the usual, I guess.
Devil May Cry. Sorry, we closed at 9. Again, no password. I can't seem to get any real business.
Well, there's some business.
Whoa, slow down, babe. Well, well, what do we have here? Nature calls? It's in the back.
So, you must be the handyman who'll take any dirty job. Am I correct?
Almost. I only take special jobs, if you know what I mean.
You're the man who lost a mother and a brother to evil 20 years ago. The son of the legendary Dark Knight Sparta, Mr. Dante.
Well, the way I figure it, in this business a lot of your kind comes around. And if I kill each one that comes, eventually I should hit the jackpot sooner or later.
In that case, you should be used to this sort of thing.
Are you really the son of the legendary Dark Knight Sparta? Didn't your daddy teach you how to use a sword?
Sword. Time to go to work, guys.
Even as a child, I had powers. There's demonic blood in me.
What strength?
You were the first one to know about my vengeance. Looks like I'm getting closer.
It seems that way, but I'm not your enemy. My name is Trish. I came here to seek your help, to put an end to the underworld.
What?
Years ago, Mundus, the Emperor of the Underworld, resurrected.
Mundus.
Yes. His powers were sealed by Sparta. He's attempting to gain control of the human world once again. He has been preparing to open the gate on Mallet Island.
Mallet, the island.
The castle is above this cliff. Come on, let's go! Ha!
Okay, here we are with our apparently not enemy who just decided to drive a motorcycle through our front door. Just electrocute us with lightning, kick us into the face twice, throw our own sword at us to impale us, and then for good measures took her own motorcycle and threw it at us. That's friendly behavior in these parts apparently. And we just went along with it, and we are now at the island to investigate. Okay, I don't know if I pointed this out yet, but to be clear, I had a playthrough of this recently. The first time ever playing it, and yeah, I'm going to go in with a bit more experience, and also I'll be looking up stuff if I've missed something. If I want to prepare for possibly a hard mode run, I need to have some really good things happening here. Just making sure that I get certain items, like this one for example. I'll be explaining all of it in a moment. Because there are things that you cannot go back to, and yeah, basically you need to be on the curve with this game. Get enough stuff to buy yourself upgrades in the missions and that kind of thing. Yeah, the game is mission based, by the way. And yeah, that's how the entire thing is going to work out. But let's get into it, let's get started, let's start from the beginning. I'm getting way ahead of myself here. Just note that I know what I'm doing, and if I don't, I'll be looking it up in order to get the most out of this. So we start with Mission 1, Curse of the Bloody Puppets. Break the evil spell and open the cursed door. Mission start. No options, so here's what we are going to do. And yeah, I hope that what I aim to do with this playthrough is just talk a bit about the game in general, my opinions on the matter, and yeah, also just have a bit of fun with it. It's an amazing game after all, but I know that there are a few minor things that don't really work out, so I'm not above pointing that out and also having a bit of fun with it in the process. So first up, the important thing here is that we need to go through one of the doors here. There are two on the ground floor. This one, this door is sealed shut, a rusty key may help, so I need a key in order to open this, and the other one has a force field going on. So if I try to open this, I need 45 red orbs to open it, so I need to kinda buy my way through. Red orbs in this game are the currency, so that's basically demon blood as far as I remember. And yeah, we need to find quite a bit of that in the room here. There are also a few hidden places where you can sometimes get a huge amount at once. And those are things that you need to find through exploring on your own. It's not going to be pointed out to you. But speaking of pointing, there is the pointy tip of that statue's weapon, and that's actually one of the places. We don't really need this, but it's going to be a nice little extra which I'm trying to get here. Jumping in this game is one of the features that we should talk about. Ah, got up there. The thing is, in this game, whatever way you're pointing, how much you're pointing, and if you hit the jump button, that's going to be where and how far you go. I don't know if you can even do short jumps. Apparently yes. But there are no mid-air controls for jumping. We have also a double jump if we do so off the side of a wall or something. So that can help getting a bit more altitude. But overall this is a bit tough at points. There's also a contextual jump which I can show you guys in a moment. So that's basically programmed in where you go at that point. Usually you do something like that off a cliff, but first I would like to get into here and get something special. I'll explain the different orbs and that kind of thing once we get to the shop. I think that might be the best because that's going to be a bit more comprehensive. Jesus Christ. So yeah, I need to get the right direction going at the right point, and with how the camera is working, that's not always straightforward. I think that's one of the major flaws of this game. It can also be quite the advantage actually, because the camera being more curated by the devs can point you at exactly what they want to show you and also make things more cinematic. But you can also in extreme circumstances have the important stuff happening on the fringes of the camera, or even worse, having to go back and forth between multiple camera angles, and that's just not fun. But yeah, we have another blue orb fragment, and these ones are going to be very important. Now we can go up here and go around, get a few more regular red orbs, just for good measure, and for our bank account basically. Almost made it back up, I don't know what that was. Yeah, this is the third kind of jump that I'm talking about. This is contextual, only happens in certain places, and that's sometimes making things even more confusing. So let's go around the top, see if we can get a few more orbs. Again, these are going to be very important. Ah, there's another big one at the end. Very nice. So let's take a look at the shop. Shops are placed around the map in different locations, and this is one of them. This is how they look. This statue must be the Watcher of Time. This god knows and remembers all of the past. The words of this god are engraved. Those who desire to acquire the ancient ways of war shall offer the blood of monsters in exchange, so red orbs. It's not responding, I better unseal the door beneath here first. Didn't I do that already? Oh no, I only showed you guys that. So yeah, with the red doors you need to buy your way through. It's they are very much on the stingy side there. Another blue orb fragment, which is nice. And if I go back through, I don't need to pay every time. I basically unseal it and now it's open for good. This entire castle, by the way, is a bit of a labyrinth with connecting corridors and pass through rooms and that kind of stuff. So it's all very much connected, and the further we go into it, the more we are going to open it up through different doors and unsealing mechanisms. But let's talk about the shop here. Have a watcher of time. God knows and remembers all of the past. The text sadly is only appearing very slowly, and yeah, it's not something that I think I can speed up. Oh, I just found the button. This is why I do a second playthrough, to get this kind of insight. Yeah, the important part here is that I mean, right now we can only buy new items. And we can do so through spending our red orbs in the bottom right, which once again is a currency. So let's talk about the different other orbs. Blue orbs, of which I just found a few fragments, they increase the maximum life bar that we have. So getting more of them means that we can take more damage over for a longer period and everything. So that's going to help us out in a major way. Purple orbs are going to become very important later down the line. They do something similar but for a special ability. And yellow orbs well, brings back life after death. So this is if we die we can resurrect again. There's also other items here. Untouchable, making us invulnerable for a moment. Holy water, dealing a lot of damage for yeah, just one-time damage, and that can actually help with quite a few bosses. With certain limit on the range. Vital Star can... yeah, it's just a basic heal. Devil Star helps us just regain some special ability power. That's going to happen later down the line. So for now we can get multiple different items there. However, and this is the tricky part, anything that's not a permanent bonus is basically a trap. You can spend a lot of red orbs on that, and in the end those are red orbs that you are missing out on for getting permanent upgrades. So it might get you through the moment, but you may fall behind of the kind of abilities and other stuff that you should have at the time. And that's something that I did wrong the first time around, so gotta be careful with this kind of stuff. Don't buy and use too many of the items, because you should be rather getting good at the game and, if needed, restarting some points. Anyways, let's go further into the castle. And yeah, just destroying the scenery can also give us some red orbs here and there. The outside is looking pretty wild, must be quite the storm going on. Can't go any further up, and this looks slightly suspicious. And yeah, the game is pointing at me it's pointing out immediately that I should be going up there. Not that this camera angle is making things painfully obvious to begin with, but just to make sure it's telling me exactly where to go. And right now everything is pretty linear anyway, so there's no real other way to go if I even wanted to. But here we are, top floor. And there's nothing really here apart from another statue which is slightly gyrating, and something that it seems to be holding, so let's take a closer look. I just got the rusty key. Are you going to do anything? I don't trust you. I can also just shoot my guns at you, but no, nothing seems to be working. So I guess. Oops. Of course, you're immediately calling in your friend, and well, that's the first fight that we have to get into here now. I might as well do it like this. By the way, the more we hit them, the more different kind of moves we use and everything. Without getting hit back, the more red orbs we get in the end. Ah, now you wake up, lazy bastard. I watched a few reviews about this game recently. I don't know who mentioned it, but I think it's a fantastic point that the castle isn't really hostile to you. There aren't just any bloodthirsty mannequins walking around, at least not well until this point. They weren't. But we've basically woken them up. We contributed to the inciting incident that now has us... I just kind of jumped back up there again. Can you just go down in the hole again, please? Thank you. Yeah, we contributed to this thing coming alive, and kind of in a bad way, so gotta be careful. Also, I think there was another door up there that I may have missed. Should be going in there. And yeah, the cameras are a bit tough sometimes. So there's not really anywhere I can go right now. There's this ladder theoretically, but I think that's blocked. Yeah, the lid is closed and I can't go through. Doesn't seem to be just a simple trapdoor. But I know for a fact that there's something else in here that I should be getting if I jump in here. Another blue orb fragment, and actually now I have 4 of them. So we immediately get a bit more health. And yeah, that already made it worth coming into here. And yeah, sometimes when you go back into older areas, more enemies will appear. And sometimes the camera might even obscure some of them, and the game can also spontaneously just throw more in via a summoning circle. I think there might be more upstairs. More dropping in through the hole there. So this is a good way to make a bit of money here. I'm spending way too much time on the first mission. And now I got a green orb, which is something that I cannot simply buy. But it's dropped from some enemies sometimes. And it gives me back some life energy. So injuries that I got, I can now also heal. But this is really not reliable, so... it's pretty nice if some of them drop something, but you cannot really expect it to happen. Also, usually at some point the enemies stop spawning, you just don't really ever know when exactly that's going to be the case. Ah, more of them downstairs, I guess. Whoa! Jesus Christ! You were definitely waiting for me there. I guess they are too tall to fit through there. God, that was a jump scare. Like, I'm pretty good with scary stuff now, but that one kinda got me. Was a bit unexpected. Ah, that's the move. I think I can look up the moves if I need to. Are more spawning upstairs, or... We're definitely not completely done here. Can you stop doing that? Okay, I think we are finished now. But yeah, there are some areas where enemies will continue spawning, especially if you go in and out of the area. Or out and back in. And that's something to keep in mind, because that can actually help out quite a bit if you are good enough to deal with them without getting any major injuries. But for the most part, I'm going to try to not use any consumables unless it's something with a permanent effect, because that's actually going to get me further in the long run. Use the rusty key. Somebody should really clean up here. Also, more puppets hanging from the top. That's looking a bit concerning in multiple ways. But not really much happening here. There's another door, but there's also a biplane and another blue orb fragment. Always gotta look out for that. But there's nothing really happening in here, so let's see. Let's go through the door and continue. There's something written. The 17 puppets are my masters. There will be no admission as long as my masters are here. Well, they are up there, they are not really coming down, so yeah. Let's check out the thing in the back here. And yes, I'm playing along a bit, I of course know what's up. Usually I don't even look at the door, I just go down there because I always feel like there would be something more important. But this is really just a fighting area. At least these guys are ready to play and falling down for it. Oh, gotta be careful. Also want to pick up the orbs if I can. They don't stick around forever, so yeah, gotta get them while I can. Later down the line I can actually buy a few more moves, like different combos and different other stuff that's going to be very helpful for the sword. So right now it's just really the most basic moveset that I have available. That guy has a shotgun. I don't know why he has a shotgun and I'm not liking that. And by the way, there is aim in this game. It's just not really marked out in any way. But you know which way Dante is shooting and moving once you hit the button. Also gives you a side roll, but it's all a bit situational. If you don't have it active, you can just move around freely and actually a bit faster. Because now you are slowing down quite a bit, but you can also do the dodge roll. Everything closes up again, and that's basically me being done in the basement here. So let's go back up and see if the other puppets want to play as well now. Otherwise we're not gonna make it in there. Imagine that. The puppets are just going to stay up there, we cannot fight them, and that's the end of the game because we are basically stuck. Imagine if a real solution to keeping Dante from interfering with whatever is going on here is just the guy who needs to die in order to open the door Just does nothing. And that's that dealt with. Always pressing the wrong buttons. But hey, that's mission 1. Only took me 20 minutes. We got some orbs through that. I don't think this is going to give me a good rating. Ah, B. I think it counts the damage that I have gotten and the style bonus and all of that in the background, so yeah, still giving me at least a little bit. We are going to save here, and that's going to be it for this episode. And with that being said, thanks for watching, until next one, and have a good one. Hope you enjoyed, and till then, bye bye.